Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome our teachers, our educators, our homeschool moms, and everyone else out there who is also an educator in their own families. We're so glad you're here tonight. Now, tonight you're going to hear a lot of helpful information. You're going to hear a little bit about the products, but a lot more about how you can have a great stream of income from home. Now, if you're here, you're in the right place at the right time with the right products, with the right company, which makes it for a win win situation. Right now, I'm sure any of you, if you could go to the grocery store, go to the gas station, you can feel how it is more expensive to raise kids now more than ever. It's because of this that more and more people are open to other ways of bringing in a stream of income. We're all feeling it. We all have a lot on our plate, and we're trying to like make it day by day. And it just seems like every time I go to the grocery store, like things are like not just doubling, but like tripling
Did
and
we
things like
lose
that.
her?
So it's one of those things. Okay, we will keep going. So I was just talking about how it's more expensive and so we're open to more ways to earn income. So to tell you a little bit about me, I'm a mom of seven. My kids range from 25 down to 11. And I've been a substitute teacher. Right now, I'm an educator in a nonprofit organization, and I've homeschooled. So I have a little bit of schooling here and there, and I've loved it. I am one of those people that like. I was a mom that was kind of drowning, but pretended everything was okay. And I always say that like I was zombieing through life, and which is where you're surviving and you're not thriving. And so when I started on Plexus products, it changed my life. It gave me my life back. It gave me the energy to be the mom that I wanted to be. And the great thing about these products is they work on getting to the root issue of the problems that we have. And that's why they help so many people in so many different ways. And so for me, I got freedom from allergies, freedom from depression, freedom from, being fatigued all the time. I had energy. I didn't have that dark cloud that followed me. And from that, it gave me some financial freedom to have some possibilities with my family. Um, we were blessed a couple years ago to be able to sell our house, our cars, all of our belongings, and we hit the road. We bought an RV and we traveled for a year in RV. And I was able to road school my kids because of that freedom that Plexus gave us. Plexus gave us the freedom to have a schedule the way we wanted to have it. We were able to just travel around all the United States. I had my four younger kids with us, and we road schooled. And so they got to have history in the national parks, and science in museums. And it was so great because Plexus, we probably wouldn't have been able to do that without Plexus. Like Plexus gave us that freedom. It gave us that extra income that we needed to be able to do it. And my husband got sick on the road, and it provided us with income when his income wasn't even coming in. And so it started out as a side income, and it ended up being our income, and it gave us enough that we were able to live on it. And so I look at it as it gives you the choices that you want. It gives you the possibilities that you want. It gives you the freedom to make the choices, whether you want your kids at homeschool or public school or being a teacher or having the freedom to maybe switch to homeschooling and homeschool your own kids. Like it's just the freedom to allow your family to do what's best that you want. And so when I started feeling good, I had to share this with other people. and and when I started sharing it, because I was one of those silent sufferers, I don't know if you guys know, that like puts on the happy face. So a lot of people didn't know all of the things I was dealing with. So when I shared it with people and I started making a couple $100 here, and then it turned into a couple $1,000, and I was like, wow, this is really something that is more than just a health. It's a health and wealth blessing. And so I am so glad that I shared it. And I'm so glad because being part of this amazing community is another blessing. Like, I love that I get to come on here and talk with all these wonderful people and and have an opportunity to share how this can bless your life as well. And summer's kind of coming to a close. It's kind of sad that summer's kind of coming to a close, but we have school gearing back up, and so I wanted to also talk about the teachers that, like, you're like heroes in the classroom because you go nonstop. You are exhausted. You put so much time and effort on top of the classroom, and so we want to help you bless your lives as well. And so I'm going to turn the time over to Janelle, and she's going to be a school teacher that shares a little more about what Plexus can do for you.
Thank you, Rachel. Like Rachel said, my name is Janelle Mattison. I'm coming to you from Wisconsin, and I'm heading into my 24th year of teaching. I've taught in the public schools all of those years. I taught second grade for 22 years, and then last year I made the jump to the little bitty 4Kers. And I have been on the products for 8 years. And I kind of like put my teaching career pre-Plexus and post-Plexus, because pre-Plexus, I was doing the healthy things and struggle, but still, like Rachel said, kind of like in that survival mode. I was super tired by the end of the school day, and I'm a mama of 2. And 8 years ago, my kids were much younger and they still needed help with homework and dinner every night and running to sports practices and all the things. And it was really hard to come home and have the energy to do that. And then despite not having energy, I couldn't sleep at night, which I know sounds weird, but I know so many people are tired during the day, but when their head hits the pillow at night, they can't sleep well. And it's this vicious cycle. And I also had some digestive issues. So I started the products strictly because I wanted energy, I wanted to sleep, and I wanted to go to the bathroom. And so I started in March of 2016. I specifically wanted to start during the school year because my body was under more stress during the school year. And I thought, if they're going to work, they're going to work when I'm teaching. And boy, did they work. I had more energy and better sleep within the first couple of weeks. Within the first 3 months, my digestive issues worked themselves out. And I think as teachers, if you're a teacher on here, or you know a teacher on here, or you work in the schools in any capacity, whether you're a paraprofessional, a nurse aide, a lunchroom lady, a bus driver, anyone in education is a sharer and a carer, right? We care about people, we love relationships. I think it's why we do what we do and stay with it, because I think everybody knows going into education, you're not going in it to make money. You're not going in it to become a millionaire, right? That's just not what we associate education with. And so for me, when my great friend Brooke, who's going to talk after me, talked about, well, there's a way you can just get your products paid for or make some additional income, I was a little hesitant at first because we don't know what we don't know. And I didn't know how to do it. And starting something new is scary. But at the end of the day, I am a teacher. My husband is a teacher. And if I could get my products paid for and not have to worry about that additional cost, I was finally open to that. And so I started sharing. And as soon as I started sharing, it was very easy to get my products paid for, which then allowed me to get my kids on their products and finally my husband on their products. And not only was all of that covered, but I had additional money left over, and it slowly started building. And then it was covering things like driver's ed, car insurance when my kids got their license, club sports, all of these extras that are certainly not cheap. They weren't cheap 8 years ago, and they're not getting any cheaper as it goes on. So even though I didn't start the products for an additional stream of income, I am so grateful for it because it's something that I can do on my own time. It's something that, like I said, as teachers, I think we just naturally share and care the things that we love with everyone around us. And it provided more, an additional stream of income that I didn't even know was possible in this kind of work. I didn't even know what network marketing was. Like, I had to look it up. Like, I don't even know what that means. When people started throwing that term around, I had to literally go to Google and Google what it meant. That's how new I was at it. And I did a post today about this call saying, I'm not special. Like, you don't have to be a doctor or a nurse or know all of the ingredients. You just have to care about people in order to do this business. And I think as teachers, like I said, we do that. And we have, I mean, if you think, well, I don't have a big network, you do. If you are in education, you do. You have other teachers, you have people in the building, you have families and parents. I have had so many parents that have come to me. How can you help me with X, Y, and Z? Or how can you help my child? Is there a child's line? Which, by the way, there is. And as teachers, you are already in your community looked up to. You're already trustworthy. Parents and community members most of them, not all of them, right? But most people look at you and trust you right away because of what you do in the classroom and with their children. So you have a wonderful network that you can reach out to. It allows for income on your own time. So for me, during the school year, I do a little bit usually before school, sometimes at lunch if it allows, and after school. During the school year, I do put in some hours like on Saturday. During the summer, I don't need to do that because I have all day. So my schedule looks a little bit different depending on the time of year, but I started this during the school year and I've built it teaching full time for the last 8 years as well. So I love that you can do little pockets of time on your own time when you have it. I know a lot of teachers with little kids after school, they go to take their kids to soccer practice and they sit in the car for a half hour, 45 minutes waiting for practice or dance practice. You can sit and do it. If you have a phone and internet, you are able to work. So it's really easy to fit into literally 15, 10, 20-minute chunks throughout your day. And some days you might have more time than others. So you just have to figure out your schedule and what works for you. The other thing that I love about this business is I've never had my school district say, wow, your kids grew so much in reading this year. We're going to send you on a cruise for free with a guest. Anybody? No? If you're like me, your raise every year doesn't even cover the raise of the cost of living, right? Or your raise, guess what? Your health insurance premiums are going up. So your raise kind of going to cover that. It's a wash, right? At least here in Wisconsin, that's the reality. Okay. You're not getting big raises if you're getting a raise at all. So through this company in the last 8 years, I have been on 2 cruises. Did I mention these are all free? Okay. They're earned. It's not like they just gave them to me. I worked to get them, but I've been on 2 cruises. I've been to the Dominican Republic, San Diego, Orlando, and Scottsdale, Arizona. I won something that Plexus gives away every month to new people building their business. I won an all expensive paid trip, flew first class for me and my husband to go to corporate in Scottsdale, Arizona. We literally got off the plane and someone was like holding a sign with our name on it, put us in this fancy limo, literally put us up at the best resort in Scottsdale, massages, tour of corporate, fancy dinners, handed me an envelope with hundreds of dollars in cash to just do whatever we wanted with while we were in Scottsdale. And it was in February and I live in Wisconsin. So that was a dream as well. So just the trips that are possible, 2 or 3 trips a year that are completely free for you and a guest. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But it's just, it's so easy to fit into your day if you're willing to put in a lot of work and you already have the network there. If you're in education, I 100% believe that in my heart. And it's been such an amazing opportunity for me and my family. So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat and then I'm going to turn the time over to Brooke and she's going to talk a little bit about how do you make these, this money and how do you, what systems, what do you have to do and things like that.
Yeah, I love that so much. You've also been in the chat
Oh,
because
yes, I've been in Hawaii. Yep.
Yeah, so in our organization, in our team, we also do retreats and we like that where we get together, whether it's a beautiful cabin in the mountains or coming to Kauai, which is where I'm joining you from. I have a home on Kauai and then we're building a home on the coast in Florida. I'm so excited for that home to be finished, being built. In fact, it's being framed today, which I'm really excited about. And that is because Texas, and I will be hosting retreats there for my organization and my leaders and those that show up and want to build a business. So we have a lot of fun together as well. We have a great community of people in all different professions. Some are teachers, some are nurses, some are stay-at-home moms, some are hairstylists, some are in accountants. Like there's all different professions that are associated with network marketing. And I did a little bit of research before this call because I love some numbers. Anyone here love numbers and love to get a little bit nerdy and do a little research, or is that just me? Yes. Okay. I just want you to know that if you're feeling like nobody does this, it's just not true anymore. In fact, 1 in 3 Americans have a side hustle, call a side hustle. So about 30% of people are looking for and actively have a side hustle because they need extra income or they want more often. Maybe they're not in a position where they need extra income, but they would like more play money or they would like more flex and more of an ability to say to more things. They may not be struggling and living paycheck to paycheck and trying to pay the bills, but they're feeling a little bit constrained and a little bit like they're not really able to make choices that they make. So 1 in 3 people, in fact, put a 1 in the chat if you know other people that have other side hustles. They're doing other things to make. I thought it was also really interesting that the average for people that have a side hustle is to make about $891 a month. 1 in 5 people make 15K a year. So I want you to think about if somebody just wrote a check for $15,000 and gave it to you and you put it in your bank account, how would that feel? Like if you just got a check for $15,000, would you be pretty excited about that? Yes, of course. Sometimes we don't realize it as it's trickling in though with our side hustle, and we don't realize and see, wow, that was 50 our taxes last year for my Plexus income. And when I saw the number, I was like, wow, holy cow. I didn't even really realize that was coming in. And I think that's what happens with the side hustle. And I love that because really what it says to me is that you're able to live a little, you're able to give a little bit more, you're able to be more flexible, and you're not feeling the stress of money. And so another stat I found interesting is that 20% of people that have a side hustle make $5,000 or more per month. And I would venture to guess that that 22% of people that make $5,000 a month, majority of them are with a network marketing company. Network marketing is a tried and true model for making extra income. It's been around for legacy companies, and Plexus is one of those companies. One of the things that's special about Plexus is that we are a private owned debt company. I'm not sure how much you know about investments and privately owned versus companies that are owned by investment firms, but to be it means is that we have, or our leadership, our CEO, our president, make the decisions. He's not beholden to investors, and he doesn't have to make decisions that affect the field because investors want to make greater profits. We have and they are in it to win it with the field, and they partner with us in such a beautiful way. It's debt-free, also allows to do a lot of these fun things that Janelle mentioned, cruises, trips to Maui. This September, there's a trip to Maui. This February, Janelle mentioned a cruise, but this February, you have the chance to go on a cruise to the Bahamas. So if you're thinking February, a cruise to the Bahamas sounds great, starting today and starting to build your business will actually help you to earn that cruise in the Bahamas in February. I grew up in Wisconsin. So I remember what it's like to be in Wisconsin in February. So that debt-free status allows the company to give generously. Generous commissions, over 50% of the money that comes in is paid back out to the reps for the company. That's also unheard of. And when you have a financially stable company, they could be more generous. We also have fun little giveaways. I've been enjoying a walking pad recently. In fact, yesterday I got on my walking pad on and off all day long, and I putting in smiles. I mean, you can, yes, Janelle got her Apple Watch. Like you can get free stuff that's going to help you live healthier, feel better, keep track of the time. A lot of us here have gotten Lululemon gift cards. Trying to think of all the other things. This month, you can get a Ninja Creamy. Has anyone seen Ninja Creamy? Make yummy, healthy treats. I mean, there's always something really fun. An iPad. I've earned 3 MacBooks. My kids who homeschool on the MacBooks that I earned. And so I'm here to share some of those stats. But what I want you to know background wise is that I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator. in the tradition sense of the word, but I did homeschool my 6 kids on and off throughout growing up. My kids are between the ages of 6 and 18, and my 4 oldest boys were mostly homeschooled. In fact, my 4 oldest boys are still homeschooled. And so I am an educator in a sense, but having a business gave me the freedom and ultimately gave me the freedom to retire my husband from medicine so that he could help, so that he could come and be home and take the kids surfing and take them skiing and help them with chemistry, because I am not interested in chemistry, or help them with calculus because that is way over my pay grade. I just never liked calculus, wasn't my thing. And so he's able to be involved in their education and help with the homeschool. And that is the power of taking a side hustle to full-time income. You have a choice with Plexus. You can do a little bit or you can do a lot. And when you do a little bit, you're rewarded very. For example, this month, if you wanted to get started on your products, or perhaps you have the products, you love them, they're awesome, but you haven't opened your mouth yet, start opening your mouth and you get 3 referrals, you'll make over $400 cash. Pretty simple, right? Think of it as being as simple as calling up your best friend, your sister, your mom, and telling them about how great you're feeling and telling them how you want them to feel great as well. And you want to do this together. They say yes because they are your best, they're your buddies. They want to do what you're doing. They hop on board, and guess what? You send them a link. That's how simple it is. And so you send that link, they purchase the products, and you're rewarded with $4 cash. If you want to do a little bit more than that and you want to get closer to that, person that has a serious side hustle that's making an average of $891 a month, you're looking at maybe referring 9 or 10 people. It's not like you have to go and refer 500 people, but we're looking at this month referring 9 or 10 people. And when you do that, you actually this month make over $1,000. Plus, you'd likely have that awesome Ninja Creami. And those are some dollars and cents of how you do it. So how do we do this? Well, one way that we do it is we socially share. We use the power of free social media. We have LinkedIn, we have our stories, and we simply authentically share the things that we're excited about. We actually have a guide that we can share. It gives you 4 post ideas, 10 ideas you can put in your stories. So you don't have to think of everything. We've got that prepared for you. The second thing that we do, actually just simple. We all have friends and coworkers and people that we come into contact every single day, those inner circle people, those ride or die friends that we can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm doing something awesome. I love it. Why don't you come and try it with me? Or when you're at work talking about gave up soda for this awesome clean energy drink called Active, or someone asks you, whoa, you're looking really good. And you end up telling them about these rad products you're on that got rid of your sugar cravings. And so sharing is something as easy as sharing your experience, whether it's on social media or in person. And then we hook you up with a system that simply teaches you how to answer some questions, how to create a referral link so that you can send that out to your friends. And as soon as you start referring first person, you start making money back immediately. Another cool perk of starting with us here in July before the school year begins is you're going to earn double the cash back. That's right, double the cash back. So if I were listening to this call or I was sending it out to a friend that I wanted to buy, because they're going to double the money they can earn back. Now, before I wrap it up, I found some other really interesting that I thought kind of mind-blowing, but actually I'm not surprised. And I'm going to ask you a question here. I have 6 kids at home. We live every summer in Hawaii. What do you think my food bill is going to be for 2.5 months in Hawaii? Just my food bill. And I want you to know we are not feasters. The leftovers, they get eaten. The food, it's gone. What do you think it's going to cost me to feed a family in Hawaii? This is not including going out to eat, because on this island, you really don't go out to eat. There's not a lot of entertainment. There's not a lot of fast food or there's no Chipotle, there's no movie theater, there's nothing like that. I'm talking just about food. What do you think it's going to cost? I see 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, 10,000. Does anyone remember how much money I told you 1 in 5 people make in network marketing in a year? $15,000. It is costing me $15,000 to feed my family of 8 in Hawaii. How am I able to do this with no cares in the world? How am I able to not stress about it? Because I have this extra that residually comes in. Every single month, my customers order and their customers order and their customers order and their customers order. I am paid residually through 7 different layers deep. And I don't have to stress about groceries, and we don't want that for you. In fact, if you look at the average cost to live comfortably based on the 50-30-20 rule, which is 50% on your basics, 30% on your wants, and 20% on your savings for a single person to live comfortably based on the 50-30-20, the statistics you need to make $111,000 a year. In California, $113,000 a year. West Virginia is in cheapest at $78,000 a year. Do you know what the average annual income is for a public school teacher? $66,000. And if you're a private school teacher, you really got it bad because it's $46,000. So I share these numbers with you because school teachers, educators, homeschoolers are coming in short. They need extra streams of income. You need extra streams of income. And it's literally sitting right there in what is now an acceptable way to make money. Network and 3 people are doing. And so you can join this wave, you can join this momentum, and you can join into our simple system and start making up the difference so that you're not going into the red, so that you're not stressed out about how you're going to pay for medical bills or $15,000 worth of food, not crazy junk food either. You're not going to have to stress out about how you're going to pay that mortgage. And also there might be some fun things like cruises and trips and retreats that get added in as well. So I just want to encourage you tonight. I'm going to pass it back over to Rachel. I just want to encourage you through my and just share with you really quickly that I did not know how to do this when I started. I did not know exactly what I was supposed to do. I did not know if it was going to work out, but I just had a good feeling about it. And I think the good feeling I had was that I could feel it was a great product. I could feel they were great people, and I knew I was joining something good. And that's the most important thing. You don't have to know all the how. You don't have to know all the steps right now. You just follow that nudging. So I'll turn it back over to Rachel.
Thank you, Brooke. I'm so glad you guys were all here today and got all of that wealth of information. And I'm sure right now you're thinking like, am I somebody that wants to start the products, or am I somebody that wants to get a little extra income? So I wanted to encourage you, whichever way you're leaning, go back to the person that invited you here and have them share with you those simple steps, the proven way that can get you where you want to go. And I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Okay, bye.